All right, let's jump in the time machine and head back to 2015. We're going to explore a really pivotal moment in database history, the arrival of the Oracle Exadata X5. Now, this thing didn't just offer more power. It completely changed how businesses thought about their most critical systems. Let's dig in.
So let's kick things off with a question, because it really gets to the heart of this whole innovation. What if you could build your enterprise system like it was made of Legos? Just imagine that for a second. Snapping in more power or adding a block of storage exactly where you need it without having to tear down the whole thing. Just keep that idea in your head as we go.
To really get why the X5 was such a big deal, you have to understand the world it was born into. We're talking about the era of fixed boxes. Before 2015, these high-performance systems were, well, rigid. You bought a certain size, and that's what you were stuck with, for better or, more often, for worse.
And this created a real no-win situation for companies. They had to make a huge bet. Did they overbuy, spend a fortune on a massive system with capacity they might not even use for years? Or did they underbuild, save some money up front, but risk a total system meltdown during their busiest time of year? It was this constant, really expensive headache.
But then, 2015 rolls around, and the Exadata X5 hits the scene, and it introduces a brand new philosophy, Elasticity. And this wasn't just some minor upgrade. No, this was a fundamental shift in how these high-performance systems were even designed.
So the secret sauce here was this concept called elastic configurations. And what it meant was, for the first time ever, you could scale your computing power and your storage capacity independently of each other. So if your database needed more processing muscle, but you had plenty of storage, you could add just the compute. The system could finally adapt to what you needed instead of forcing you to adapt to it.
And listen, this wasn't just some fancy marketing slogan. It was backed up by some serious hardware upgrades. The X5 had a ton more flash capacity. That's the super fast memory, and that meant everything got a boost. Day-to-day transaction processing got way faster, and those big, heavy data analytics jobs, they absolutely soared. It made the X5 incredible at juggling all different kinds of jobs at the very same time.
So that brings us to the real-world impact. I mean, what did all this newfound flexibility actually mean for businesses? How did it change the game on a practical, day-to-day level?
And here it is. This is the payoff. That impossible choice we talked about earlier, the one between overbuying and underbuilding, it was suddenly solved. With the X5, companies could finally right-size their systems. They could put in exactly what they needed for today, feeling totally confident that they could easily scale it up or even down tomorrow.
Now, if you're thinking, hey, that sounds an awful lot like how the cloud works, well, you're exactly right. This ability to pay only for the resources you're actually using and scale on demand, it was a crystal clear preview of the economic model that would basically define the cloud era. It was cloud thinking, but you could have it right inside your own data center.
And really, that's the lasting legacy of the X5. It was a bridge to the cloud. It wasn't just another powerful machine for its time, it was this critical piece of engineering that really laid the philosophical and technical groundwork for the next huge shift in computing.
You can see the evolution so clearly here. We went from those rigid one-size-fits-all boxes to the X5 coming in and introducing an elastic platform you could run on-premise. And that in turn just paved the way for Elasticity to become the default standard for pretty much everything in the cloud. The X5 was that essential evolutionary step right in the middle.
So in the end, what the Exadata X5 really proved was that the future of high-performance computing wasn't just about getting faster or bigger. The real revolution was about getting smarter, more adaptable, and way more efficient. It showed the world that flexibility, it wasn't just a feature anymore, it was the future.